I've been living in this van for the past 4 years, and this week I transformed it from this with a bunch of exposed metal to this.
No way. This is crazy. It looks so different.
Doesn't it? It's like a whole different van.
It was like meant to be like this all along.
I know, right?
Oh my God, it's so clean looking.
The project of framing out these windows has taken a couple weeks, and the first step was measuring. This took a lot of creativity and thought because nothing in this van was straightforward. So I had to get creative with it, and a lot of times I would trace scrap plywood that I would test it out on, or I would test it with cardboard and then trace it on the final wood. But I did waste some wood in the process. The next step after measuring was cutting the wood. To do this, I used the table saw, the miter saw, the circular saw, and my favorite is the band saw. I don't know why I love the band saw so much, but you're able to cut these really irregular patterns and shapes, and it's just so much fun and therapeutic to do, so I really loved that. And I just want to say that you don't need all of these tools to build a van by any means. I'm really grateful that I have a dad who is very handy and has an entire workshop and all the tools I could possibly need, but you can definitely do it with a lot less. Having all these different tools did make the process a lot easier though. As I continued doing the framing, I ran into obstacles that ended up taking a lot longer than I anticipated, one of those being the light switches over here on this side of the van. I didn't know exactly what to do with these light switches for a while, but I ended up making the light switches, the solar monitor, and the inverter control flush with the framing, and I really love how it turned out. I think it was worth all the extra effort because it just looks so sleek now. Another major obstacle I encountered was the AC unit in the back of my van. I have almost all the framing done already. It has taken a lot longer than I expected. Because I have a passenger van, there's so many different divots and things to work with that you don't have to work with in a cargo van, which makes this framing a lot more complicated. But one thing about the passenger van that I really love is this AC unit that comes with the van. When I bought this van 5 years ago, it had 10 seats in the back. They have this AC unit to ensure that all the passengers have like nice airflow, which is really great because cargo vans don't have that. So I wanted to keep this feature, but it used to have like this big ugly vent up top, so I'm gonna just make my own. I ended up chopping it off, and I have this piece of wood, and it's gonna go like this, which I think will look really good. And then I'm gonna cut out a hole, and I'm gonna put rattan on it so that the vent and the airflow can still get through, but I think it'll look a lot more sleek and clean. Once I finished all the framing, the next thing I had to do was figure out a way to join the walls and the ceiling with some type of molding. I had no clue what to do here because I really didn't like the look of the molding that I used to have. Time is running out for this van build. I only have a few more days before we hit the road and go on our last road trip in this van, and I have no clue how I'm going to do, I don't even know what you would call it, molding, I guess, on the sides to cover up the wire to join like the sidewall and the ceiling. I have no clue how to do this. The angles are very different on each part of the ceiling, so I'm going to prototype some different things and we're going to try to figure it out. But other than that, things are coming along. We have most all of the framing done. Okay, I've devised a plan. We're going to cut down this plywood and I'm going to fit that up there, and this is what we're going to make the molding out of. I am so happy with how this turned out. This is exactly how I wanted it. So good. Okay, let's put the rest up. When the molding was done, the next step was to get everything ready to paint. Throughout this entire process, I have been sanding intermittently. I've been putting wood filler in, but there was still so much to do, and it took hours to prep this van to get painted. Honestly, it's still not completely done. I need to sand and tape things off still. But yeah, it took a really long time to sand everything. I spent hours doing it last night, and I'm probably gonna spend another hour doing it today. At this point, we're about ready to paint. I've decided I'm going to paint all of the framing white, the same color as my cabinets. I just really love light colors in a van. I feel like it really opens up the space, and it's such a small space that the light colors make everything feel bigger in my opinion, and taller, more spacious. So yeah, we're gonna start painting this white and see how many coats we can do in the next couple days. Before I paint, I actually need to do a little more sanding. Show me a way
story. Throw me a rope here, I've drifted way too far.
I was just standing and then I look up to see one of the most beautiful sunsets I've seen here in Texas in a very long time. It's kind of hard to capture it on camera. Things on camera never look as good, but also there's a big tree covering it, but it's so beautiful. I thought that I would be ready to paint in the evening and it is 11 p.m. It took me so long to get everything taped off. I shoved things in the window, I covered the countertop, I covered the front area. I just don't even want to risk it. Now I'm dropping down these lights so that I can paint the ceiling because that's what I'm going to paint first. Lights are dropped down, now let's start painting. I'm starting with the ceiling because I think it'll make things a lot easier as I move towards painting the rest of the van. I feel like it hasn't even hit me yet that I am going on the very last road trip that I will ever go on in this van in just a couple days. I don't know when it's gonna hit me, but it's kind of crazy to think that this van I've been living in for the last 4 years is going to be sold so soon. I'm not even gonna be able to like live in it or see it anymore. I don't know, I'm not really one to get super sentimental about material items, but this just feels like so much more than that. Like this van has truly changed my life. So it kind of feels like I'm giving away a part of myself or just like leaving a part of my past behind, I guess. But that's also just life. I honestly have this like horrible fear right now that at the end of all of this painting, I'm gonna peel back the tape and there's gonna be a bunch of white marks everywhere. So fingers crossed that doesn't happen. One thing I've recently been thinking about while doing this build is how I feel like there are so many jobs and personalities, honestly, and activities that we have been conditioned to believe are like reserved for men. And honestly, the same goes the opposite way. Like engineering is a man job, or teaching is a woman's job, like a nurse is a woman's job. I don't know, there's just like so much conditioning. And I feel like with building, it seems very male dominated and it feels like intimidating to get into, but I've actually enjoyed it so much. And I think there's so much joy in just doing whatever you want to do and not letting society's expectations of you limit you or confine you in any way. Building something with your own hands is truly one of the most rewarding things. And I feel like it's why I feel so connected to my van build, because I literally built every single part of this van with my own 2 hands. So it doesn't really just feel like a van or a home. It really does feel like a piece of art to me. And now going into my next van build, I feel like I've just gained so much knowledge. Even just framing out these windows, like I feel so well equipped to do it again now, and I've learned so much. A lot of people ask me like how I know how to do all of this stuff, and a lot of it is just practicing and just experimenting. Also, YouTube is an amazing way to learn. Like I've watched so many videos of people framing out the windows in their van at this point and learned so much through that. And my dad is also extremely handy. And so growing up, I did have some building experience just from being his daughter. Like this workshop that we're in now, when I was in high school, I actually helped my dad build this workshop. I remember like helping him build scaffolding to build the walls and like making a pulley system to have the beams, like to lift up the beams for the wall and all this stuff. I don't know, it was honestly just crazy to be doing that in high school. I just learned more than anything that if something is broken or you want something, you can just make it. Like you don't even have to buy it, you can just figure out how to make it. And that is really empowering. It is day 2 of painting the van. Last night I stayed up till like 2 a.m. painting all of the cabinets, but the first coat is done. I have to do another coat today for the wood, but I'm also going to take off all this plastic trim and we're gonna spray paint that outside. There is a chance of rain, so fingers crossed I'm not rained on in this process. The sky is a little cloudy though, so we'll see. Not only is it possibly going to rain, but it's also very windy, so this is going to be a challenge.
mystery. What do you have left to hide? There's something up your sleeve. Keep your secrets, I don't mind.
Guys, I definitely think it's gonna rain. It is so windy. It's not ideal to be spray painting in these conditions. I'm wasting so much spray paint right now, but I really have to do this. I do not have time to wait. I always forget how hard spray painting is. Like, you really have to make it even, otherwise it starts like gooping up and running. And then with all this wind, that's just an additional challenge. This is like a really good forearm workout. I feel like I'm gonna be a stronger rock climber because of this day. Oh my gosh, it's totally gonna rain. Am I gonna get this done on time? That is the big question. This is also something I definitely have to do during the day versus painting the cabinets. Because if I do it at night, I'll need lights outside and all of the bugs will flock to me. It's been a couple hours and a lot has changed. I did end up spray painting everything in time before it started raining. I got everything inside. It has dried. I need to put that up. I also did a second coat of paint around the entire cabinets and framing. It looks so good. That took a couple hours. And then I realized there was a lot of paint splatters on my flooring. I wanted to redo my flooring anyways. I just didn't know if I'd have time to do it before the Colorado trip. But I tried to get the paint off the floor and it was not working. So I just spontaneously ripped out my flooring. It's like 2 a.m. and I'm gonna see how much I can get done. I'm hoping this is a quick project. Because I already have the flooring done, I should just be able to trace it. I have the template, cut it, and then stick it down. So it should be fairly quick. Installed the flooring last night. I was operating like a zombie. It was literally 3 a.m. I think I continued work until 4 a.m. It's crazy how long I'm working these days, but I wanted to get a lot of work done yesterday so that today I could go in town and take a break from working and see my girlfriend Tori because I haven't seen her in so long, and today is also my birthday. So she really wanted to spend time with me, which is so sweet. I don't think we're gonna do anything crazy. I'm not one of those people that needs to do something crazy for my birthday. I just want to be with people that I love, like have a nice day. If it's like a hike or whatever, I think we're gonna go rock climbing. One thing about Tori though is even though she knows I don't care that much about my birthday, she always makes an effort to make me feel special, even if it's something small. Like last year for my birthday, we were in the forest in Oregon and we went to a hot spring a couple of days prior, and I jokingly gave her this rock and I told her this rock represents our love, don't drop it, or something like that. I don't even know what I said. And I totally did not expect her to keep it, but she did. She kept it and then she wrote a note with it and like did a whole symbolic thing about the rock. It was really cute. I basically cried, and then we had a cheese board, which is one of my favorite things. She always just knows how to make me feel really special. As you guys can tell, the van is done now. I am obsessed with how it turned out. Although we are really rushing to hit the road. We're hitting the road today and we've gotten a little late start, but I gave Tori the full tour of the van finally. She's never seen it finished yet.
This is crazy. It looks so different.
Doesn't it? It's like a whole different van.
It was like meant to be like this all along.
I know, right?
Oh my God, it's so clean looking. Love that. That's so
Isn't
good.
that cute?
I'm
And look
so
at
proud
this.
of
They all
you.
sit flush. And look, we have this little place where we could sit and we could put a cup there.
That's so cool. This is so cool. Oh, whoever gets this van is gonna be so lucky.
And I'm just in love. It looks so different and I'm so excited for this road trip. So stay tuned for next week's video because I'll share all about our trip, all about our future plans, and everything that happens while we're in Colorado. I love you guys so much and I'll see you guys next Sunday. Bye!
Hi.
Sweet mystery, what do you have left?